3.1.
Well, let's start. Good morning, everyone. My name's Mari Kaplan, and I'm here to talk to you about my job. I'm a science journalist. That is, I write scientific news articles. I'd like to tell you what this job involves, the main challenge for a science journalist, what skills you need, and finally, why I chose this profession. So, what does the job involve? Well, generally, a science journalist has two main things to do. Firstly, they have to research what's new in the world of science. And secondly, they need to write articles. First of all, the research. Journalists have to find out about new scientific discoveries. How is this done? Well, there are several different ways. For example, by attending academic conferences and listening to talks, or by visiting research institutes and interviewing the scientists there, finding out about the work they are doing. And a third way we journalists keep informed is by reading academic journals. This is just like any other journalist who needs to know what's happening. But here, the subject is always science. Next, once they have the news item, the journalist writes an article. This brings me to our main challenge. The key question here is, who's going to read the article? The kind of article you write depends, of course, on who the reader will be. Let me give you an example. If the article is for a newspaper, most readers will be non-scientists. For this reason, we have to write about scientific subjects in a clear and simple way. This is the challenge. So, what qualifications and skills does a science journalist need? Well, usually they need a science degree, and secondly, they have to be able to write clearly and simply about science subjects. In other words, have good communication skills. I've always been fascinated by science, and I've always wanted to communicate my interest to others. That's why I chose this career. I enjoy the challenge of explaining a complex idea in simple terms. I've got the science background because of my degree in chemistry and the necessary communication skills from a postgraduate degree in journalism. So, my education has given me the qualifications and skills for this challenging job. Now, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
3.2.
So, Ahmed, what was your first job?
My first job was with a small TV station. I didn't present the news. I researched the news stories, wrote them, and edited them. Then a presenter read the stories on air.
Did you want to present the news yourself?
No, not really. I liked researching and editing. I didn't think about being a presenter because I wasn't very self-confident, and you need to be. Anyway, one day someone was ill, and they needed a person to announce the programs, so they asked me. It was just to say a few lines, so I agreed. Afterwards, they told me I have a very good voice and good presentation skills. Apparently, I sound honest and serious, and I suppose I look quite good on TV. So that's why the producer suggested more live television work to me. At first, I wasn't sure. It's quite stressful speaking live on TV, but eventually, I agreed to do it. I started reading the news, and I discovered that I really liked it. And so, I continued.
You said you need to be self-confident. What other qualities are important?
Actually, there are a few other things that are necessary. For instance, sometimes you need to be calm.
Why is that important?
Well, many things can go wrong, such as a guest being late. Imagine you're just going to introduce someone onto the program, and then you hear he or she hasn't arrived. You need to think quickly and find something else to say.
Are there any other important qualities?
Yes, you need to stay neutral. Sometimes you have to announce bad news, for example, a serious accident or disaster. It's important to keep neutral and not to show your feelings.
3.3. 1.
I didn't think about being a presenter because I wasn't very self-confident.
2.
Apparently, I sound honest and serious. That's why the producer suggested more TV work to me.
3.
There are a few qualities that are necessary. For instance, sometimes you need to be calm.
4.
Well, many things can go wrong, such as a guest being late.
5.
Sometimes you have to announce bad news, for example, a serious accident or disaster.
6.
Most readers will be non-scientists. For this reason, we have to write in a clear and simple way.
7.
I've got the science background because of my degree in chemistry.
3.4. 1.
He didn't want to become a scientist because...
2.
Maya was good at art. That's why...
3.
You can find information from different sources, such as...
4.
The guest was late because of...
5.
Magazines are expensive to produce. For this reason...
6.
Newspapers are divided into sections. For example...
7.
Photographers specialize in a subject. For instance...
3.5. 1.
Do you want to be a journalist?
2.
What do you want to do?
3.6. 1.
Do you have any experience?
2.
How do you find your information?
3.
Is it difficult?
4.
What time do you start work?
5.
Where is the editor's office?
6.
Would you like to work abroad?
7.
Why do you want to be a journalist?
8.
Have you written the article?
3.7. 1.
I'm going to write my essay tonight.
2.
The cafe doesn't open till 10.
3.
Do you have any free time this afternoon?
4.
He doesn't have any experience.
5.
I think he'll enjoy the new challenge.
6.
When's she starting the job?
3.8.
Graphic designers of magazines decide how magazines should look. They choose the colours, the photos, the illustrations and the fonts, and decide the layout of the magazine. That's why they have to be creative and have good visual communication skills. They also need to have good technical skills because they use design software programs such as Adobe Photoshop. Finally, they should be well organised so they can complete their work in time.
3.9.
So what are you studying, Kaleem?
Economics and business studies.
Is that interesting?
Yeah, it's because it's a good combination. The courses are varied, but the subjects go well together.
And why did you choose it?
I really liked economics at school. That's why I wanted to study it in more detail at university. But I also wanted to do business studies. I'm very interested in different aspects of business, such as finance, marketing, and accountancy.
And what do you want to do when you've finished?
Well, I'm not sure, but at the moment, I'd like to work for an international company.
I see. Why do you want to do that?
Because I think there are a lot of possibilities for a good career.
3.10. 1.
Over 1,000 people attended the conference last month.
2,
Keiko found a good solution to her transport problem, a bicycle.
3,
The radio programme was produced in Sydney.
4,
The visiting professor will give a talk on her research.
5,
He never wanted to appear on TV.
3.11.
So, Vince, what's your job?
Well, I'm an online producer. That is, I manage the content of the website of a TV company.
OK, so do you write everything that's on the website?
No, not everything. Actually, I have 4 major responsibilities. I choose the articles and then I edit them. Also, I decide on the organisation of the site. That's where and how everything appears. And finally, it's my job to make the site attractive to people who visit it.
And what skills are important to do this?
Well, first of all, good communication skills are essential. For example, it's necessary to be able to write well and communicate with other people. As I said, I decide on the organisation of the site, and that's why I need good design skills too. But I don't need to be an IT expert, because the technical creation of the website is done by IT specialists.
What makes your job difficult?
Well, some sections of the site, such as the news, are updated every 2 hours, so things are always changing, and there's a problem of space. We have to keep the articles short because of lack of space.
And what advice would you give someone who wants to be an online producer?
That's simple. Work hard. Work very hard.
3.12. 1,
Good communication skills are essential. For example, it's necessary to be able to write well.
2,
I decide on the organisation of the site, and that's why I need good design skills.
3,
I don't need to be an IT expert, because the technical creation of the website is done by IT specialists.
4,
Some sections of the site, such as the news, are updated every 2 hours.
5,
We have to keep the articles short because of lack of space.